Hello, I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and welcome to Tales Unlimited, the disturbing thought of the day. All right, you're a drug dealer. You're going inside. It, they got you stone cold with too much cocaine and other drugs, and they caught you for dealing as well, some possession, dealing, intent, all of it. Slam dunk case. You're looking at some serious time. You're like a third strike offender, blah blah blah. So, um, you're being arraigned. And this lawyer comes in and he's like, "A moment with my client, please." And he basically says, "I would like to represent you in return for three favors." What do you say? Considering the time you're looking at, it's like, "I'm down, sure." All right. And the lawyer starts throwing off some blah, 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 blah. Evidence. Evidence is clearly not there. Apparently, the evidence got lost. Apparently, the witnesses have recanted their statements. Um, Talked to the prosecutor over here. I mean, the DA over there. ADA is pissed because the ADA was hoping you'd be stupid enough to plead guilty because apparently last night all the witnesses died, all the evidence burnt up, and ADA is glaring at you and at your lawyer because they know this was not an act of God. Far from it, actually. So, case gets thrown out. Lawyer walks you to a cab and says, "Look, I'll be in touch. Here's my card. Don't worry, you can't lose it." And you go home. And when you go home, waiting for you is basically this weird sphere of light, reddish. And it basically floats around you, and goes, you hear his voice in your head says, "You'll do." What's going on? "You owe me three favors for getting you out of that mess you're in." "Okay, what do I do?" "Just let me in." And the next thing you know, it's like coming at you, like trying to get into your head. "Let me in. If you don't, I'll kill you right here and now, boy." All right, you let him in. You stop fighting him. Next thing you know, he's in your body. You realize you just let yourself be possessed. And what does he do? He, over the next 3 days, with your bare hands, he kills three people. This thing. Um, from the way things look, as you take a back seat in your own mind, he had a beef with the like somebody who banished him, and this person had three kids, so he kills all three of their kids. Had it all sorted out too. Like they're in three different states. He had plane rides. He had safe houses, limousines, bodyguards to grab them, and he just simply showed up and just did the coup de grace and left. No significant risk. He didn't wear masks, didn't bother with gloves, just went in and killed them. In between, there's partying, drinking, hookers. You're enjoying this just as much as he is, and he is voracious. I mean, he uses your body up. And after the third kill, he's like, "We are even. Very well, mortal. Have a nice life. And do be careful. Oh, as a matter of fact, you know what? I'm in such a good mood." The third victim had a significant amount of money on hand. Keep the cash. Really? Yeah, keep the cash. Stay out of trouble. Comes out of your head, poof, goes away. And look at the cash, looking at everything that went through, and you're like, okay, you would never have believed this story if somebody else told it to you. And against your better instincts, you leave the cash. As a matter of fact, against your better instincts, you burn the cash, and you walk out the back door of this really nice house that he left you in. And I mean, you are on the road. You make it maybe 2 blocks when there is a really nasty, you see like cars racing past, like a bunch of cars, I'm sorry, SUVs, like a convoy of SUVs in black. You know, like the kind of that you see cartel guys roll past in, or private security and all that stuff, and they're heading in the direction of your safe house, and you drive a little bit faster, and by dumb luck you get away only because you burnt that money, because the money was tracked, it was tagged, it was mystically set, so that if you took any of it with you, they would have found you. Daddy was coming, and he never finds you. He knows who did it. He knows what did it. And the next time that thing comes onto this world, maybe he'll have his revenge. But he slips, and you slip through the net. Or do you? It's about where I'd stop. Because maybe he finds the lawyer. Maybe somehow he finds you. But you have the nagging suspicion that you should probably go to that pet cemetery where you hid like your emergency rainy day cash and take a vacation in Central America. Because your Spanish is pretty damn good. All right, I'll stop there. I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and this is Tales Unlimited. Please check out talesunlimited.net for the podcast, two of them. There's the Battery Daily Prompt and a Disturbing Thought of the Day. Plan was to do more of them, but I think I'm just going to do 100 each. And this is episode 99. So tomorrow will be the last one. Still, they'll be out on YouTube for posterity's sake, so please check out any of them. And also, the website has book links, which will take you straight to Amazon. What are these books about? Well, there's the Battery series. It's for anyone wanting to write the great American novel or just a novel, period. And might have spent too many years trying to write it without a system. I would suggest that you give the Battery system a shot if you want to write that novel, because if you follow the system through, you'll be selling books, building your business, making fans, making money while you're working on your first novel. On top of that, there are 200 writing prompts and some wisdom on the business, but it's the 200 writing prompts that are just good old-fashioned universal idea fuel for storytellers of any stripe. So, evil GM, comic book writer, game designer, short story writer, screenwriter, veteran novelist. There's always something there. Take an idea, spin it your way, and run with it. Who knows what you've got? And that's just 200 stories per book. I'm about to drop the third one any week now. And then there is the Villain series. Think New School. No. Think Sin City with superpowers, really. I'm mixing it up. I'm tired. Sorry. Sin City with superpowers. Told from the perspective of Benjamin Clyde, gentleman fixer, dude in a suit. A supervillain who has to hide his colors, retire, pretend to be a normal guy. He hires the best mercs in the world. He has a nice 10-year run, and then something goes south and he has to give up his business, and he is sentenced to fight crime. After losing all of his money and all of his minions, he must personally fight crime in the superhuman crime capital of the world, and no one expected him to last a week. So what does he do? He thrives. So much so that he builds his own brand of world-saving, knuckle-dragging, pipe-hitting bastards called Villain. And what do? They kill the worst villains and take their stuff. And the other two series that you can find on talesunlimited.net are short story anthologies. 25 stories, New School Twilight Zone. 25 stories to a book. Themes are unlikely heroes, like a law student who falls asleep on her couch, University of Michigan, and she wakes up next to a dead summoner whose magic ripped her off that couch when someone killed him mid-summoning. She's on a fantasy world where only one other person speaks English because he had the same thing happen to him once. And he has no interest in getting her home because he's in the middle of a war. And he's like, I tell you what, roll with me. I'll teach you everything you need to know to survive on this world and find your way back. You can be my intern. And she has no interest in fighting in this war, but by the end of it, she comes out so badass she makes Xena wet herself. She could probably go toe-to-toe with Wonder Woman. That's how creepy she becomes. Only because she wants to go home. I mean, some people miss toothpaste that much. And then the other series is called The Book of Schemes, which is about schemes. Diabolical, twisted, you name it. Think of a good one here. Professional Courtesy. There's this hitman, arguably the best, and he hangs up his spurs all of a sudden. And allegedly it was that the story is that he fell in love with his last target, his last mark, and she's a thief. And so a killer and a thief start a detective agency, and things are going well. Well, this guy comes out of her past because she got him kicked out of his cartel, and a huge chunk of his face is missing because of her. So it's a revenge scheme within a revenge scheme, this story, and I recommend. But stuff like this, you're not going to find just anywhere. I recommend overall. All right, so I'm Marcus V. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited. I'll see you tomorrow.